But the fact that the ratings from Caitlin Clark's series to these series fell off a cliff, it should surprise no one.
I'm watching the Indiana Fever game. I'm just waiting on Caitlin Clark to catch the basketball.
AJ Wilson has openly reacted to the sharp decline in viewership following Caitlin Clark's departure from the playoffs.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate.
She appeared in an interview and said this: "This season, more than any other, I've heard people call my game boring. I just think, okay, cool, whatever." AJ Wilson has strongly reacted to the dramatic drop in viewership following Caitlin Clark's playoff exit. Wilson has suggested she prefers playing with greater freedom without overwhelming attention surrounding the sport, and that's essentially what happened once the Fever were eliminated. After Indiana's exit, fan interest in the playoffs declined significantly.
Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
Caitlin Clark's impact became obvious as viewership continued to fall from game to game, while she remained at home watching the playoffs unfold. She may very well be looking at the situation with amusement. The league had the opportunity to deliver one of its most-watched playoff finals ever, but that opportunity slipped away.
All I gotta say is she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's wrong, Molly.
Monica?
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's excuses.
5 top players,
it's excuses,
am I right?
Molly. It's excuses.
Major injuries.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen, excuse me, it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
you
A.
got there.
Wait a minute.
No, want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you, if
Paige
Georgetown
Becker-
gets back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige Beckerson basically missed 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking about Caitlin Clark the way we are now.
Now the championship matchup is set. The New York Liberty against the Minnesota Lynx. For many casual viewers, those rosters simply don't have the same level of recognition or star power. As a result, the finals are expected to draw the lowest television audience of any playoff round so far. It raises the question of how the WNBA allowed its biggest ratings momentum to disappear so quickly.
Reason 12 million people are watching ESPN for a game. If that game was on CBS, they probably would have had 25, 30 million people watching that game.
The WNBA struggles without Caitlin Clark have become increasingly noticeable. For a long time, many people dismissed the idea of the Caitlin Clark effect, but the league is now feeling its impact more with every passing game. Without Clark on the court, many fans believe the excitement and must-watch appeal of the WNBA has faded once again.
Looks like we're not going to be seeing Caitlin Clark play basketball again for another 200 days. An ESPN reporter said at the end of the Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun Game 2 that Caitlin Clark almost definitely will not be playing basketball this offseason. So no overseas and no 3-on-3 unrivaled league.
AJ Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces had established themselves as one of the WNBA's most dominant teams throughout the season. Entering the playoffs as a leading championship contender, many believed that with Wilson guiding the team, the Aces were destined for another finals appearance. But their semi-final series against the New York Liberty unfolded very differently than expected. Powered by their own collection of standout talent, the Liberty delivered an impressive performance and eliminated the Aces, a result that sent shockwaves across the WNBA. The Aces' exit not only brought their title hopes to an abrupt end, but also took one of the league's biggest stars out of the postseason spotlight, adding to the perception that excitement surrounding the playoffs had declined.
Caitlin Clark's the most valuable, most important person in the WNBA this year, and should have been unanimous Rookie of the Year.
Winning the unanimous MVP award usually brings enormous expectations. Fans and analysts naturally expect the league's most valuable player to guide their team on a deep playoff run, with a championship firmly within reach. When AJ Wilson and the Aces were eliminated, it not only ended their title hopes but also removed one of the postseason's biggest storylines. Wilson was widely expected to be one of the main attractions in the finals, but with the Aces' early exit, she no longer had the opportunity to compete for the championship on the league's biggest stage.
disrespectful, but they talked a lot of trash and they got humbled. And I think that that's okay. That is sports. That is what we live for in sports.
Caitlin Clark is the kind of player who naturally draws attention wherever she plays. Her electrifying style and ability to take over a game have made her one of the WNBA's most exciting stars to watch. However, after Clark and the Indiana Fever were eliminated from the playoffs by the Connecticut Sun, many fans felt the postseason lost much of its appeal. The energy and anticipation that typically surround WNBA playoff games seemed to fade. Without Clark in the postseason, many viewers felt the games lacked the same level of intensity, excitement, and entertainment that had made the earlier rounds so compelling.
And to act like there isn't or hasn't been legitimate resentment emanating from those who are pioneers. Nobody's fooled here. You got pundits who used to play in the WNBA, some of them who didn't, and who were speaking on behalf of those who didn't want to create that kind of noise themselves because of the negative impact. We talk about it when the men do it. If we detect jealousy, if we detect envy, if we detect resentment, and it's amongst the fellas we put it out there, shit, we act like it's the latest episode of General Hospital. But when the ladies are feeling that way about another young lady like Caitlin Clark, and people like myself and Shay Shay call it out, suddenly it's a problem.
The absence of a player like Caitlin Clark from the playoffs represents more than the loss of a single athlete. It changes the entire viewing experience. Clark combines elite talent with undeniable star power, attracting both devoted basketball fans and casual viewers alike. Once she was eliminated, many felt that special spark disappeared, leaving the postseason feeling far less exciting. For the WNBA, that was a major setback. The playoffs are meant to showcase the league at its highest level, with its biggest stars delivering on the biggest stage while fans remain glued to every game. But without Clark in the bracket, many viewers described the postseason as lacking energy, excitement, and the compelling atmosphere they had expected.
Ever since, Angel Reese had that injury, to me, and also coming off of Olympic break, Caitlin Clark separated herself. Yeah. She should have been unanimous. Now to celebrate her, one thing that people forget is as a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8 assists.
Following Caitlin Clark's playoff exit, the WNBA saw one of its steepest declines in viewership. Many fans who had been closely following the postseason appeared to lose interest once she was no longer competing. The ratings told a clear story. After Clark's elimination, audience numbers dropped dramatically. Rather than a gradual decline, the change was swift, highlighting the impact her presence has on attracting viewers to the league. Like every major professional sports league, the WNBA depends heavily on television audiences to fuel its growth. Strong ratings help secure sponsorships, advertising partnerships, and lucrative broadcasting agreements. When viewership falls, those opportunities become more difficult to maximize. The sharp decline in audience numbers after Clark's departure reinforced the widespread perception that she plays a major role in the league's overall popularity and commercial success. Caitlin Clark's playoff exit highlighted just how much attention she brings to the WNBA. Many fans who had been following the postseason closely lost interest once the Indiana Fever were eliminated, and viewership declined noticeably. Clark's exciting style of play, leadership, and star power have made her one of the league's biggest attractions, helping draw both longtime basketball fans and new audiences. While the WNBA continues to feature outstanding talent, many believe Clark has played a major role in boosting the league's popularity and media attention. With her rookie season leaving a lasting impact on both the Fever and the WNBA, fans are already looking forward to her return, expecting her presence to reignite excitement and bring even more attention to the league.